What's up, guys? This is Steal This Idea podcast. My name's Eric. I'm the co-founder of Shared Sweeps and head of brand at Gas Monkey Garage. I got into e-commerce about 5 years ago, 5 years ago, with famous unicorn fintech out of Ireland, Wayflyer. On this episode, we're going to talk about an idea I have, but on all the episodes going forward, our ideas are wild business ideas, really important, like relevant business ideas. The goal is for you to take and steal whatever you like and whatever you like to hear. So I'll let Will Jones introduce himself as our co-host.
Yeah, the goal is for you to steal the idea, and the hope is that one of you builds $1 billion company with one of our ideas.
That's right.
Yeah, my name is Will Jones. I am an 8-year e-com founder, owned a pet product company called Pack Leashes. Now I do something called Save by Package Protection. We protect your packages if you're a direct-to-consumer e-com founder or manager, whatever, in e-com. But yeah, man, let's get into it. What's the idea today, Rick?
Awesome. Today's idea is Suds. So Suds is my name for it, but essentially it's involving IoT with consumer, basically CPG products. So the idea is when I was basically living with 4 other people, we had to share different showers. We ended up sharing soap, body wash, all these types of things. And it was always like a give and take on who's going to get the body wash, or like I would shower and we still had some body wash left, right? And then I'd come back and there's none left. I'm like, dang, like this sucks. And then I started to think about all these issues that parents might have with their kids having struggles with body wash and shampoo and making sure they use it. And I've always loved technology, data, and tracking data points. And so the idea is essentially a soap dispenser that the company provides an actual dispenser, but they also provide the soap and the actual products, the consumer good products, to where the Internet of Things, the technology will track the fill levels of each soap. So there's a conditioner, right? There's a shampoo, and there is a body wash.
Okay.
If you are a family of 5 and you have 3 kids, I already can tell you from my childhood, there were several times where I was showering and I didn't have any shampoo left, or I didn't have any, body wash left, and I just didn't do it, and I just didn't think anything of it. And my parents, if they knew I just wasn't washing myself because I ran out, they would have done something about it. So essentially this product will autofill based on the fill level. So if you're a family of, like I said, a family of 5, and you have 3 kids that are sharing the same restroom, when they run out, or when it gets to the bottom 10th%, right, or the 20% left on that fill level of that shampoo or that body wash, they're going to mail deliver a pod that you can replace. So every time you get a pod at your door, you know that your kids have essentially ran out of soap, shampoo, or conditioner, right? And I think it just develops really good habits as a parent to where you're not buying soap when you don't need it, but you're always buying it when you need it, and it's kind of like on a subscription level.
Okay, so wait. Well, you already answered one of my questions. IoT, Internet of Things. I don't really know what that is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Sorry. Yeah. So for those that don't know what IoT is, Internet of Things is basically when you take an object and you're able to extract data from it. So you're using data and technology on a object. So, for example, like a mic could technically be Internet of Things, right? Every time the mic picks up a noise, it could send a data point to a software in a cloud, and it could say how many times I speak per second or how many noises I make per minute.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it's basically a data tracking tool that you can add to objects. Another example of Internet of Things, you could have an Internet of Things glass to where it's like literally a water glass, and it can track fill level to see how long it takes you to actually, on average, drink a glass of water.
Okay.
Right. So Internet of Things is basically empowering data and tracking what normal objects do or how they interact with other objects in real life. But essentially, that's the idea, right? It's like saving time and money and efficiency around little things around the house. And like my thought process was, if I have 4 or 5 kids, I know my kids are going to love going outside. They're not going to be like super obsessed with using soap, and if they run out, like, are they really gonna say anything?
Yeah, they're like whatever. They don't even want to take a shower. They don't want to. Yeah, they're just like, I did it. Like I got in.
Yeah. Or if I have a couple boys, like they're just gonna be like, can I go ski? Like they don't really care, and it's like that could be 2.5, 3 weeks that could go by where we don't even know if they've used soap, right? So that's kind of the app. That's why it's applicable, I think, for families. But on top of that, from a business margin profitability perspective, I think Suds has opportunity because we can track all the data points, right? So the Internet of Things is allowing us to know when people take showers on average. So what time do people shower? We could get data points in different cities. In different cities, people shower at different times. At different age groups, they shower at different times.
Could probably sell that data to a degree, so you have something on the back end. And
per
it's
shower,
also,
they're using it 5 times per shower.
Yeah.
Right? All these things we can track, and then you can use that for your marketing tools. So if I know that 80% of my users shower between 7:15 a.m. and 8 a.m. local time, guess when I'm going to run ads on people? 7 a.m. or I'm going to run ads from like 6:45 a.m. to 7:15.
And
right?
like right after maybe too.
And right after 8
Yeah.
a.m. to 8:30 because they're thinking about it.
Yeah,
right?
you got the window. That's interesting.
I think that data just really provides efficiency where like all we talk about in e-commerce right now is how can you get better ROAS? Like what about your meta targeting? It's like we're not even it's kind of like we were talking about with Jolie on the last episode and the way people are thinking about cleaning their skin. Like I don't think we're looking at marketing the right way. It's like if you get the right product and you have IoT, it can build a whole new marketing strategy that doesn't exist for anybody else.
Nice. Yeah. So I will say, I don't know if you remember, but Amazon released these buttons. So like you could have like a Tide Pod button in like your laundry room. And it was like, oh, I need more Tide Pods or whatever you need. And so kind of similar, but you're talking about a smart detection. I will say, there was a funny issue I remember happening where it was like, someone got like 300 orders of something to their door because they had a child. Yeah. The same kid who's not going to tell you to use their soap is going to be pressing the button.
Exactly.
So this is maybe a little better. Although like, I'm just curious, I guess from a perspective though, if I'm a parent and, we're talking about this being useful for, I think we need to build the use case beyond children is what you're.
I think at like schools, like, so I played football in high school and we had like soap dispensers and we just run out for so long and you have to like, it'd be like a day and a half or two. Like, I hope you go to better schools than I did. But it was always like, just we hope there was soap in there. If there wasn't, you go home and shower. And it's like, there could be commercial uses for that. NFL, hockey, even like swim teams and stuff like that. Like there's all these things that you could have use cases for where like you could have these going on in like Delta lounges. Like this could be an airport product, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, the TAM is technically like infinite as well because everybody showers. But the use cases, you can almost like sell something very niche.
I think you're making too much of an assumption though to think that everybody showers. Honestly, yeah. I think that's it's hopeful.
My brother doesn't shower. I can tell you that right now.
That's hopeful.
John Autry does not shower.
But another thing too is like people might be like, "Hey, honey, I feel like you're using way too much toothpaste." But yeah. I feel like this could start some interesting conversations. Maybe also, sometimes good, maybe sometimes bad.
If you're a parent though, like parents just are obsessed with their kids, like we were talking about before, right? They're obsessed with their pets. People are obsessed with their pets. They spend more money on those things, right? And it's like if they know they can make sure their kid's clean, there's moms that care about that. Like It doesn't necessarily need to be this huge TAM like I was just talking about. It's like the fact that Amazon tried it and it failed because they had a button. Well, yeah, the button is the best thing that could ever happen for them because every time it's pressed, people are going to buy more. Like, we're not necessarily saying that. It's almost like if your kid is using it too much, you're going to know, right? You're going to be able to go on the app and be like, wow, we have our Suds in our restroom and our kids have theirs. And we use our Suds 30% less than they do when they shower.
And our bodies are 100% bigger.
So maybe we should go to our kids and be like, hey, you see what's going on here? What are you doing? You know smartphones. Kids know smartphones. And be like, hey, lower it down. They're like, oh, they understand that.
Well, it's nice too from a lifetime value perspective because like I think that's something that like people always ask me, oh, would you start another product company? And like the answer is generally no. It's a no but. And the no but is no, but if I could determine something that had good lifetime value and had like you could replenish it, like then we're talking because lifetime value is just so important nowadays. And I know that's like one of the biggest cliches that everyone talks about, but when you're operating a business that's not replenishable products and they're products that last a long time. I mean, that's why planned obsolescence is a thing because,
Yeah.
Apple and these tech companies need lifetime value.
I think one thing to you got to be first purchase, first order profitability is key. If you're not like a CPG brand or you're anything that's like repeat purchase. However, unless you're like a Portland Leather, you have high SKU count because Portland Leather didn't get to 9 figures by just being really good at first purchase, profitability.
Yeah.
They increase their TAM by increasing their SKU count with high quality products.
Yeah.
So it's retention is a big chunk of their business, but it's they're not CPG, right? They're really high quality handmade leather goods.
Yeah.
So they figured it out. But to me, I think that's why I like that idea is because I don't know leather goods, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to handle that many SKUs, but I love data. The way they look at SKUs, I like data, right? So it's I truly believe that customers stickier because what are you going to